Right, one more act in this section. Samuel Williams. Make some noise for Samuel Williams.
How are we all doing? Hey. Happy January? We can finally start drink driving again? Get in! Did everyone have a good Christmas? Yeah? Mine was a bit weird. It was the first Christmas that we'd spent since my nan sadly passed away. Oh, yeah. It was really sad for me because it was the first year I didn't get any undies or socks. Or a £5 cheque. So to give you a bit of insight on my life, like I said, my name's Samuel Williams and I live with my mum who is very sadly in a wheelchair. Oh, I know, it's a sad story this, her name's Pat, for those of you who don't know, which is short for paternal neglect. So like I said, she's in a wheelchair and she requires a lot of attention being in a wheelchair. You know, she needs taken to the shops. She needs a washing done, she needs a tea making for her. And I know exactly what you're all thinking. Selfish cow. And I thought, you know what, I've got to, you know, since the incident, since the mad Irish bouncer battered her, you know, I've really got to step up here. I've got to, you know, be an adult now. So I fucking did. I did it. And I moved out. And do you know what I've done? Yeah? Don't think she's the fucking nice one in this story, because she was going to kick me out, but I couldn't fucking be arsed wheeling her to the back door for her to do it. Yeah? Fucking hell. Yeah, so, I love me mum, and obviously I slag her off in these stories, but we do get on like an absolute house on fire, yeah? And she's so funny, and I don't know if anyone else's parents do this, but it's almost as if they get past a certain age, but all their internal filter just seems to go out the window. Yeah? Sure everyone knows what I'm talking about, but we are having a conversation about me moving into this new flat. And she said, oh, do you think I'll be able to get up there? You know, being mental in the legs and that. And I said, yeah, you could probably get up there. I said, you know, in all due respect, you know, it's a second floor flat, there's only a set of stairs. I said, yeah, you could probably get up there. I said, you'll probably have to go up on your bum. Do you know what she said? She said, ooh, I can do all sorts on my bum. I said, what the fuck did you just say to me? She says, I can do all. I said, I heard what you fucking said. I said, why the hell are you saying that to her son? Right? And like, you know, in all due respect, yeah, fair enough. She can do all sorts on her bum. That's not the problem, because she's doing fuck all on her legs, right? But it was the long, ooh, that fucking shivered me to my core. Yeah? And I just don't know how a mind gets to places. Yeah? Goes from one end of the scale to the other. The other day we were having a conversation, a nice conversation about abortion. Yeah? Don't ask me why, right? But it was just a nice, relaxed, chilled out conversation about abortion. And as we were talking about, she says, oh, on the topic, you've got my vanished carpet cleaner. I said, how is that on the fucking topic? That's like having a nice conversation about the Holocaust, and then saying, oh, on the topic, how much is your gas bill? Fucking mad woman. So I work with people with special needs. I work in Weatherspoons. No, I do actually work with people with, you know, learning difficulties, neurodivergent, autism, and I absolutely love this, especially being as a comedian. I'll be honest with you guys, yeah? The comedy writes its fucking self, right? They're absolutely hilarious. I take one of the lads to church on a Monday, and me and the guy I was working with, we fell into a conversation with the vicar about belief and Jesus and God and all the rest of it. And the vicar told us this story about how he came across this homeless man in Birmingham. And the homeless man had asked if he could say a prayer to the vicar. So he put his hands on the vicar's head, and apparently he'd said the most beautiful prayer he'd ever heard in his entire life. Yeah? And he said, that's how I knew that Jesus Christ was stood in front of me. And then he pointed at me and he said, I have the same feeling about you that I did that homeless man. So So basically, he thought I was Jesus Christ. Yeah. So I turned to the lad I was working with. I said, "How do you feel your support worker's Jesus?" He said, "Well, to be honest with you, Sam, he also thought a homeless man in Birmingham was Jesus, so I don't think he has a fucking clue, do you?" Which is fair. You know, brought me back down to earth. Now, I want to ask you all an honest question, right? Do I have a certain look about me? Yeah? Because I get asked far too often who's looking after who. Okay? Okay? On a genuine scale. We had a new lad move into the residency that I work at, and we did something called a shadow shift. So that's where we basically, you know, spend 8 hours with them, learn about their needs and how we can care for them, what we can, you know, and learn about their difficulties and how it all works. So I'd spent 8 hours with this fella, yeah? 8 hours from 9 to 5. And he said to me, "How long you lived here then?" He thought I was a fucking resident. Now, I love people with special needs. Like, they are genuinely my favorite people in the whole entire world, yeah? But one thing I have learned about working with people with learning difficulties is that you can't show these little fuckers any weakness, okay? Because when you show them that weakness, right, they will pick up on it, and they will use it against you, right? And I was very stupid to show my weakness, right? And now, they keep fucking tickling me. Right? And I don't know if you're ticklish or not, but it's fucking torture. Yeah? So I take one of these lads to a disco on a Tuesday night. Yeah? One of them tickled me in front of the rest. Right? And now I spend my Tuesday nights running away from about 20 people with autism trying to fucking tickle me. Right? So I'm running around a fucking disco hall like this. Some cheeky bitch, right, from a different service, come up to me. She gently took me by the hand, right? She says, "Where's your support worker?" Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Samuel Williams. Thank you so much for coming.